Hello friends, I CA Kamakshi Khandelwal welcome you all to my next session in GST. My topic for today's deliberation is e-commerce. E-commerce, electronic commerce has transformed the way the business is done in India. Currently, the e-commerce industry is faced with the levy of multiple taxes in India. Each state has imposed its own set of rules and taxes on the e-commerce industry. The lack of clarity on various e-commerce transactions and new aspects such as e-wallet, cashbacks, etc. have resulted in a chaotic tax environment for the industry. E-commerce industry is looking towards the implementation of GST with the hope of bringing in clarity and removal of various state levies and taxes. In this deliberation, I would be covering topics from the perspective of both e-commerce operator and suppliers on e-commerce. So let's start. First, I would like to discuss what is the meaning of e-commerce. According to section 2 clause 44 of the CGST Act 2017, electronic commerce means the supply of goods or services or both, including digital products over digital or electronic network. And who is considered as an e-commerce operator? Section 2 clause 45 of the CGST Act 2017 defines electronic commerce operator or the e-commerce operator as any person who owns, operates or manages digital or electronic facility or platform for electronic commerce. For example, Amazon and Flipkart are e-commerce operators because they are facilitating the actual suppliers to supply goods through their platform, popularly called as the marketplace model or the fulfillment model. If supposingly Amazon and Flipkart make supplies on their own account, known as the inventory model, then in relation to those supplies, Amazon and Flipkart will not be treated as e-commerce operators. Taking up another example, if Titan company supplies watches and jewels through its own website, then it would not be considered as an e-commerce operator for the purposes of this provision. Now coming over to the provisions relating to registration. Is it mandatory for an e-commerce operator to take registration? According to clause 10 of section 24 of the CGST Act, it is mandatory for every electronic commerce operator to obtain registration in GST, even if their turnover is below the prescribed threshold limit of rupees 20 lakh. Also, the persons who supply goods or services or both other than the supplies specified under section 9 subsection 5 through such e-commerce operator who is required to collect tax at source under section 52 are also required to get themselves mandatorily registered in GST irrespective of the threshold limit. Now what does this section 9 subsection 5 says? It says the tax to be paid by e-commerce operator on notified services. The government may, on the recommendation of the council, by notification specify categories of services. The tax on intrastate supplies, means within the state supplies, of which shall be paid by the e-commerce operator if such services are supplied through it, and all the provisions of this act shall apply to such e-commerce operator as if he is the supplier liable for paying the tax in relation to the supply of such services, provided that where an e-commerce operator does not have a physical presence in the taxable territory, then any person representing such e-commerce operator for any purpose in the taxable territory shall be liable to pay tax. Provided further that where an e-commerce operator does not have a physical presence in the taxable territory and also he does not have a representative in the said territory, then such e-commerce operator shall appoint a person in the taxable territory for the purpose of paying tax, and such person shall be liable to pay tax. But till date, no such services have been notified on the interstate supplies of which e-commerce operator shall be liable to pay tax. Now, moving over to section 52, that is collection of tax at source. This section provides for collection of tax at source by an e-commerce operator at a notified rate, where the consideration for the supplies is to be collected by the operator. This clause elaborates on the date of collection, the date of payment of the amount to the credit of the government, and filing of prescribed statements. So, section 52 says that an e-commerce operator shall collect an amount at such rate not exceeding 1%. So 1% in CGST Act and 1% in SGST Act makes it 2% of the net value of taxable supplies made through it by other suppliers, where the consideration with respect to such supplies is to be collected by the operator. So now let us understand what is the meaning of net value of taxable supplies. The expression net value of taxable supplies shall mean the aggregate value of taxable supplies of goods or services or both, other than the services notified under section 9 subsection 5 made during any month by all registered persons through the operator, reduced by the aggregate value of taxable supplies returned to the suppliers during the said month. Let us understand this with the help of an example. For example, Flipkart is an e-commerce operator, ABC Private Limited and XYZ Private Limited are suppliers on Flipkart. The following supplies are made on Flipkart in the month of October 2017. So, ABC Private Limited has made taxable supplies on Flipkart worth 1 crore and the taxable supplies returned were 10 lakh. So, the net taxable supplies turns out to 90 lakhs and the TCS collected at the rate of 2% by Flipkart turns out to 1,80,000. Similarly, XYZ Private Limited has made taxable supplies amounting to 2 crore, out of which the taxable supplies returned amounted to 20 lakh. Therefore, the net taxable supplies turned out to 1 crore 80 lakh and the amount of TCS collected turns out to 3 lakh 60,000. Here, the net taxable supplies of Flipkart is 2 crore 70 lakh and the GST collected is 5 lakh 40,000. Now, what is the time limit for depositing TCS? The e-commerce operator shall pay the TCS so collected to the government within 10 days after the end of the month in which such collection is made. Now, what are the statements that are required to be furnished by an e-commerce operator? An e-commerce operator is required to furnish a monthly statement in form GSTR 8 by 10th of every month and an annual return in form GSTR 9B by 31st December of the next financial year. And the suppliers on e-commerce operators have to file a monthly return in form GSTR 1 by 10th of every month and an annual return in form GSTR 9 by 31st December of the next financial year. Now, the details furnished by the e-commerce operator shall be made available electronically to each of the suppliers in Part C of Form GSTR 2A on the Common Portal after the due date of filing of Form GSTR 8. Now, coming over to the next point, matching of details furnished by the e-commerce operator with the details furnished by the supplier. The following details related to the supplies made through an e-commerce operator as declared in Form GSTR 8 shall be matched with the corresponding details declared by the supplier in Form GSTR 1. First is the state of the place of supply, and second is the net taxable value. In case of any discrepancy in the details furnished by the e-commerce operator and between the supplier, then such discrepancy shall be made available to the supplier electronically in Form GST MIS 3 and to the e-commerce operator electronically in Form GST MIS 4 on the common portal on or before the last date of the month in which the matching has been carried out. A supplier to whom any discrepancy is made available may make suitable rectifications in the statement of outward supplies to be furnished for the month in which the discrepancy is made available, and an operator to whom any discrepancy is made available under Sub-Rule 1 may make suitable rectifications in the statement to be furnished for the month in which the discrepancy is made available. And where the discrepancy is not rectified under Sub-Rule 2 or Sub-Rule 3, an amount to the extent of discrepancy shall be added to the output tax liability of the supplier in his return in Form GSTR 3 for the month succeeding the month in which the details of discrepancy are made available, and such addition to the output tax liability and interest payable thereon shall be made available to the supplier electronically on the common portal in Form GST MIS 3. Hope I am clear with all the provisions relating to e-commerce transactions. In case if you have any queries, you can email me the same at my mail ID. You can also log in to my YouTube channel CA Kamakshi Khandelwal for more videos on GST. Thank you.